Have you ever wondered why, despite all the effort you put into a relationship, you still end up feeling empty and exhausted? Are there people in your life who seem to literally drain your energy? In this video, I'm going to talk to you about something essential that can cause you a great deal of suffering over time. I'll share what helped me overcome it. As a minimalist, you let go of everything you don't need and that weighs you down. Usually you do it to simplify your life or to declutter your home and create more order. But is that enough? Or are there people in your life who take advantage of you, who drain your energy? By the end of this video, you'll understand why it's so important to free yourself not just from material things, but also from emotional burdens. We'll talk about how to find the courage to make the right decision for yourself. And I'll tell you how I'm personally dealing with this. Because let me tell you, I'm not talking about this topic by accident. What are toxic relationships? A toxic relationship isn't always easy to recognize, but there are signs that something isn't right. Conflicts, manipulation, emotional blackmail. The feeling of never being enough, always being there for the other person, while your own well-being doesn't seem to matter. Some questions you can ask yourself include: do you feel emotionally drained after spending time with the person? Do you feel like you're always giving more than you receive? Does the other person manipulate you to get their way? Do you feel like your boundaries are constantly being crossed? If you answered yes to one or more of these, you should pay attention. Toxic relationships can happen with anyone, not just romantic partners. It could just as well be a family member or a friend. Do you feel a knot in your stomach right now? Did someone come to your mind immediately? Then let's go a bit deeper. Battery empty. I've had several toxic relationships in my life, both friendships and romantic ones. The roots probably go back to my childhood, but that's not the focus today. What stood out about those relationships was how exhausted they made me. Sometimes I even felt physically drained. I didn't receive much support from these people. Instead, I had to invest a lot of energy and always be there for them. Of course, that doesn't come without consequences. Toxic relationships make you feel less valued and lower your self-esteem. Another problem is when someone tries to control or manipulate you, or simply ignores your boundaries. Your feelings are often minimized, and you're told you're too sensitive or overreacting. In conflicts, there's no resolution, just a repetition of the same problems, over and over. It's extremely draining. So what now? We often stay in these relationships because we're afraid. Afraid of change, afraid of being alone, afraid of never finding someone else. But it's exactly this fear that prevents us from finding true freedom, real love, and genuine appreciation. Minimalism taught me to focus on what truly supports me, and toxic relationships aren't part of that. The truth is, some relationships can't be fixed, no matter how hard you try. They'll always harm you in the end. And learning to let go might be one of the hardest lessons of all. Before we dive into how to actually make that happen, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything in the future. Goodbye. If you want to break free from a toxic relationship, it takes courage and determination. Usually, it takes a while to even realize that the relationship is toxic and needs to end. It often starts with awareness, realizing that something feels wrong. Reading about the topic, watching videos like this one. After all, no one teaches us how relationships are supposed to work. And if we didn't grow up with healthy examples, how are we supposed to know what one looks like? Admitting to yourself that you're in a toxic relationship is incredibly hard. In my experience, toxic partners are especially skilled at creating confusion to make you doubt about yourself. This is why it's so important to stay grounded. Trust your gut. If you've had the feeling for a while that something is seriously off, it probably is. Once you recognize that a relationship is toxic, it's time to set boundaries and distance yourself. This may be easier in a friendship than in a romantic partnership, but emotional distance is always possible. And most importantly, seek support. In my experience, it's incredibly hard to leave a toxic relationship, and the risk of slipping back is high. If your ex is good at manipulation, you might still go back. Or worse, you start a new relationship and end up repeating the same cycle. A therapist can help you uncover and heal the deeper reasons behind these patterns. And until you found the right therapist or booked an appointment, yes, even ChatGPT can be a decent conversation partner in the meantime. Plenty of knowledge here. Friends and family can also support you. An outside perspective often sheds new light on the situation. If you're planning to cut ties with someone close to you, I strongly recommend professional support. It doesn't have to take forever, but it will help you process what happened, and it will shift your focus back to what really matters. You. If you've sidelined yourself for someone else for too long, now is your time. Letting go of toxic relationships releases a lot of energy. Energy you can now use to work on your self-confidence, meet new people, and plan your future. Minimalism is a powerful companion on that journey, so feel free to check out one of my older videos if you're not familiar with it yet. Quality over quantity is a basic principle of minimalism, and that also applies to relationships. Better to have fewer, healthier connections than many that drain you. Let's go back to the question we started with. Why do you still feel empty despite all your efforts? Probably because this relationship is harming you more than it helps. Now it's up to you. Be honest. Are there people in your life who are taking advantage of you? Could you be in a toxic relationship? Be brave and let go. It's the only way to come back to yourself.